Did you know that you can blame anxiety for empty saving accounts? Or how anxiety affects your finances? Welcome to the Live Without Anxiety, the channel where you will find the best anxiety hacks to overcome anything in your life. Today, we are going to discuss the relationship between anxiety and your finances. If you are wondering how you can save more money at the end of each month, watch till the end. We are going to give you some tips and tricks so you can stick to your savings goals and take your first steps towards financial freedom and anxiety reduction. Only 2 months prior, when the American economy was murmuring and the joblessness was at the peak in decades, 77% of Americans, despite everything said, they felt anxious about their money-related circumstances. Things have deteriorated from that point forward. The coronavirus pandemic has disturbed our lives. A huge number of Americans have lost their positions or shut down their organizations, with a surety of when the recuperation will start or to what extent it will take. The future appears to be dull and dubious. For all intents and purposes, everybody is restless about cash and their budgetary prospects, and the individuals who were on the edge before are much more so. If you are one of the anxious ones, stick till the end because we have curated a list of things that you can do to get control of your finances back in your own hands. Anxiety adversely affects essentially every part of our money-related dynamic, including our purchasing practices. For our monetary prosperity, setting aside cash reliably is similarly as significant as overseeing how we purchase items and administrations. For example, having a just-in-case account set aside that is sufficient to cover a few months of expenses is the best method to withstand an unforeseen emergency like the present one. However, anxiety sabotages sparing conduct and makes it increasingly hard to play out the very conduct that will diminish nervousness. In this video, we will need to consider what the examination says about the poisonous impacts of tension on our cash flow, especially savings. I additionally need to give a few thoughts on what we can do to maintain strategic distance from its damaging impacts. Studies have discovered that to get a good deal all the time, we need to adopt certain habits and aim for realistic savings targets. Shockingly, an individual's mindset plays a more crucial role in saving money than his income. Financial specialists Richard McKenzie and Dwight Lee point out that by world standards, most Americans start with a reasonable income base from which they can save, invest, and build their net worth. This is the motivation behind why the anxiety plays a vital role in developing savings habits and should be comprehended. Anxious individuals think that it's harder to set aside cash reliably. We ought to expect that when individuals feel dubious about their future and feel compromised, they should turn out to be increasingly worried about setting aside some cash. However, this isn't true. Research shows that nervousness isn't helpful for saving cash reliably. One 2012 investigation directed with family units that earned somewhere in the range of $20,000 and $80,000 yearly found that lower anxiety was related to saving routinely. More anxious individuals, then again, were likewise more averse to do such things as making plans on how to utilize cash, screen their spending on different expenditure categories, or set investment funds objectives. Another examination, led with undergrads who looked for money-related advising, inferred that spending beyond earnings, difficulty in paying bills due to inadequate income, and reaching the maximum spending limit on credit cards were all behaviors significantly associated with anxiety. These harmful practices clarify why tension sabotages reliable savings conduct. Saving reliably and gathering investment funds become a cushion against stress. The converse is likewise obvious in the stress-saving wealth relationship. Setting aside cash reliably is of itself remedial and is related with lower tension. One research of Swedish buyers found that the individuals who set aside cash from every check felt lower anxiety and more security in their present and future budgetary circumstance. Another paper that inspected debt anxiety found that setting aside cash basically assumes a defensive job. At the point when study members were asked to intellectually reenact positive results that would happen to them in the wake of saving a considerable measure of cash, comparative with pondering about burning a huge aggregate of cash, they felt less fear of dying. What can restless people do to set aside cash? Obviously, the greater part of the examination recommends that the anxiety-saving money relationship is an endless loop. Tension makes individuals less compelling at setting aside cash reliably, and not having reserve funds makes individuals restless. Breaking out of this endless loop isn't simple. It requires seeing precisely how tension influences saving conduct. Here are 3 explicit procedures to think about depending on mental research. First, to begin with, studies have discovered that stressed individuals will in general create more evasion objectives. Investment funds objectives are, all things considered, about approaching goals since they are about remuneration, for example, a wedding, schooling, or retirement. Second, they additionally will structure more avoidance plans that favor safe and low-risk activities and less approach plans. These distinctions propose that confining saving cash as an approach to keep away from negative results might be viable when nervousness is at peak. For instance, concentrating on the thought that all is well and good, that having investment funds will fuel restless individuals to begin saving money. Third, thinking in high-level abstract terms can help you with saving money rather than thinking in details and specificity. For example, setting a financial goal for a vacation in Venice is more likely to fail than a goal for saving for a vacation. In this season of high stress, when the checks of many are contracting or evaporating, it appears to be absurd to consider setting aside cash. Nonetheless, given that most Americans were worried about their funds even before the coronavirus pandemic, this agitated period gives us a chance to break a portion of our awful cash propensities, set goal-oriented savings objectives for our prospects, and attempt to break the harmful anxiety-saving money endless loop. And now it's your turn. Please tell us which part of the discussion you like the most. Let us know in the comments below. Remember, saving is about the habit, not the amount. Once you realize it, it's easier to start and acquire this habit of saving. If you can only save 10 cents or $1, it doesn't matter. But most importantly, you will create a habit which then allows you to save also bigger amounts. You can start by setting aside 1, 2, or 5% with the goal to increase it to at least 10%. Please share this video with people who are struggling with their finances and click that subscribe button to begin your self-improvement journey with us. If you enjoyed this video of ours discussion on anxiety and finances, I'm sure you would really like also revealing about our video on coronavirus, skyrocketed fights among couples. Here's how to get along during quarantine. So make sure to check it out. And remember, you can live without anxiety.